I've said this before and I'll say it again. Lofree has the smoothest and best sounding low profile keyboards out in the market right now. There's no argument about that. They definitely nailed it when it comes to the sound and feel, thanks to their simple yet effective design and construction, partnered with some good choice of full palm switches, from the OG Lofree Flow to the ultra thin Lofree Edge. But what if I tell you that there's an upcoming affordable variant with comparable sound and feel, but with even more features and functionalities for just under $100? Introducing the Lofree Flow Lite, a more affordable version of the OG Flow, but now with tri-mode connectivity with a better Bluetooth version, better double-shot keycaps, an adjustable stand, a volume roller, a higher polling rate, and most importantly, software support. They're able to make it more affordable by using ABS plastic for the chassis instead of aluminum alloy. With this, you'll get the best typing experience without compromising much on all the bare essential features. Now, can we say it could be the best low-profile mechanical keyboard in the market soon? Well, let's find out. Let's get into it. As always, honest disclaimer, this video is not paid, but Lofree did send an early review sample for me to experience. They will not review this video or even my script, and will see this at the same time as you do. With that said, let's start with a quick unboxing experience. So we have a simple white box with some branding and an image preview in front, and some of its key features at the back. I'll just pop an overlay on the screen for better visibility. Inside the box, we have a foam cover, an envelope that houses the paperwork, a cable on the side, and the Lofree Flow Lite itself. Inside the small envelope, we have this, which I guess is the warranty guide, a QC Pass certification, and the user manual. Now, what I have here is the 100 keys variant in white, but it is also available in gray and pink, and in a more compact 84 keys variant. At first look and touch, you'll definitely feel that it is made mostly out of plastic material, which I don't mind at all, especially considering its price. Again, this is just under $100 upon launch on Kickstarter soon. Of course, it does flex a bit, but no one in the right mind will do this, so yeah, not a deal breaker at all. It weighs just around 664.5 grams. In terms of the layout, we have a crammed 100 keys layout with dedicated numpad, arrow keys, some nav cluster keys, full function rows, and of course, the alphanumeric keys. Your typing adjustment may vary depending on your experience, but some might need some time to get used to this layout without any space in between the key clusters. I for one had to look down when using the arrow keys. Now, what I appreciate here in terms of new features is that we now have a volume roller, which for some people, including me, is quite important. We also have a small LED indicator here for charging. And for branding, we just have a subtle debossed Lofree logo on this corner. We also have a tiny LED indicator here on the caps lock. Now, looking in front, as you can tell, it is really slim, just a tad thicker than my iPhone with a case and as thin as its competitor. Looking at the side, it has a slight angle, just enough for a more ergonomic typing experience without compromising its low profile characteristics. And what's good about this is that, unlike the OG Flow with the permanent height, we now have a regular flip out stand. Flipping it at the back side, we have the USB Type-C port for charging in wired mode and the switch for the tri-mode connectivity. We can also see here the cavity for the 2.4 GHz USB dongle. At the bottom, we have 4 rubber feet, the said 2 flip-out stands, some technical details and certifications at the center, and again, the magnetic cavity for the USB dongle. Overall, there's no denying the fact that it feels relatively cheaper compared to the OG Flow, but definitely not cheap in a bad way. It feels good in the hands, is lightweight, and with a clean and minimal design. Even the keycaps perfectly match its subtle aesthetics. Speaking of the keycaps, it is now made out of PBT double shot, with the double shot material being polycarbonate for the translucent legends. This means it is still durable, but now it shines through to make the lighting more effective. More on that later. The keycap's thickness is around 1 to 1.1 millimeters. In terms of the switches, we now have the full palm Spectre switch that is made by Kale in collaboration with Lofree. It can compete with the Ghost switch of the OG Flow, but is now lighter with only around 40 grams of actuation force required. It is also pre-lubed out of the factory and is definitely one of the smoothest low-profile mechanical keyboard switch. And yes, this keyboard is still hot swappable, so you can explore other low-profile switches if you want in the future or replace faulty switches if necessary. The stabilizers on this keyboard are one of the best when it comes to low-profile keyboards. They are tight with no noticeable rattle and are quite deep and thoughtful as well. Even the longer spacebar feels really great. They are also pre-lubed out of the factory. Now, before I share with you all of its features and functionalities, here's a quick sound test for you guys. Now, one thing that many people were critical about the OG Lofree Flow is the fact that it was lagging behind its competitors when it comes to features. The OG Flow only has dual mode connectivity, has lower polling rate, and no software support at all. They fixed all that with the Lofree Flow Lite. The Lofree Flow Lite now has tri-mode connectivity with a 2.4 GHz connection and an improved Bluetooth version, now with 5.4 compared to 5.1 of the OG Flow. The polling rate has also improved from 500 Hz to 1000 Hz, and it now has software support, albeit still not QMK/VIA. More on that in a second. One thing that Lofree didn't change much is the lighting effects. While we do have shine-through keycaps now, which drastically improve the visibility, we still have only one color, which is white, and a limited amount of lighting effects. In fact, using the built-in key combinations, you can only cycle in between 3 different lighting effects. You'll need to use the software to unlock the other lighting effects. Also, by default, the brightness level is I think only at level 3, but you can increase that via the software to level 5, so that's one thing to consider. Now, while we're at it, let's take a look around the software. Right now, we're in wired mode, but it also works in 2.4 GHz mode. Inside the software, you can import, export, rename, delete, and create multiple profiles. You can also switch between Windows and Mac OS and switch between the default and secondary layers. Here, you can change a key's function to a different keyboard function using the on-screen keyboard. You can also remap a key to a custom key combination or use it for multimedia shortcuts, including some mouse key functions. You can also use it for your macros or disable the key entirely. On the next page, we have lighting, which we've already discussed. Then the macro recording page and the settings page, where you can use the pairing tool, adjust the polling rate, reset the keyboard, and adjust the power saving mode. Overall, a typical basic software, and even though it's not QMK/VIA just yet, it is still well appreciated compared to the OG Flow, which doesn't even have any software. Now, in terms of the teardown experience, it's easy, but you'll have to be very careful since it's made out of plastic and is held together using plastic clips. Though, to be honest, you really don't have to tear this keyboard apart and modify it because again, it already sounds and feels good out of the box. But in case, all you have to do is remove a couple of screws and pry the clips around using a plastic pry tool. After that, you can now lift the top cover like so. Then carefully detach the ribbon cable. In terms of the components, we have a foam dampener here at the bottom case, which fills the hollow part of the case completely. Then we have the magnet for the dongle, the 3000 mAh battery, the daughter board for the tri-mode connectivity switch, the USB port, the LED indicator, and the volume roller. By the way, in terms of battery life, this keyboard can last up to 100 hours with the LEDs turned off and with a charging time of around 3 hours. As far as I can tell, the internal construction and components are essentially the same as the OG Flow with the gasket mount design using silicone gaskets and with silicone and switch pad in between the PCB and plate. I think the plate is also made out of plastic. The hot swap sockets are made by Kill and it has a quite interesting design for the bottom part of the stabilizers. Overall, to conclude, while I appreciate premium and exquisite expensive keyboards, this is definitely a good move for the part of Lofree, catering more towards the budget market space, especially the fact that more and more people are now choosing affordable keyboards due to the current financial status across the globe. The good thing here is that they were able to come up with a comparable and competitive product without compromising much in terms of features and functionalities, and the fact that they were able to maintain their signature sound and feel while adding more features is not short of amazing, especially with a launch price of just under $100 for the 100 keys and even cheaper at $89 for the 84 keys variant. But still, I would love to see another premium Lofree Flow with aluminum chassis, better lighting effects, QMK and VIA support, and maybe we can even see them create an HE variant to compete with the other brands. We'll see. And there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Huge thanks to Lofree for sending this in. Again, while Lofree did send an early review sample, they did not pay me for this video and they'll see this at the same time as you do. And in case you're interested in getting this keyboard, please consider using my link below. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you appreciate this video, and see you next time. Have a great day, guys. You're awesome.